here we have Julius Novachrono from Black Clover and Minato Namikaze from Naruto. One look at these two characters from two completely separate series, and you'd be surprised at how much they resemble each other. From being ruthlessly fast, having blonde hair, a position of power, be it Wizard King or Hokage, charming personalities, and the level of charisma that comes with being a legend, it's easy to see why they are both such well-respected characters in their respective series. And in this versus battle video, we'll be comparing them with each other, their backgrounds, character similarities, powers, and abilities. Indeed, we have a lot to talk about, and I'm sure you have a lot to say as well. But I just want to hold on for a few minutes until we get to the end of this video before you unleash your genius insights in the comment section. Well then, grab some coffee and relax. This is going to be very interesting. Let's start with their backgrounds. Julius was born in the Space Kingdom, but what's unusual about his body is that it had two souls, the first one being him and the second being Lucius. We won't get into detail about Lucius since the context of the video is about Julius, so for the sake of simplicity, let's just say that Lucius lets Julius use the body. Julius moves to the Clover Kingdom and becomes part of a noble family. From there, he starts climbing the ranks of the Magic Knights and becomes a captain. On one of his travels, he also comes across Yami Sukiro, a man who could use dark magic, and so he invites Yami to join the Magic Knights. He also recruits Morgan, Faust, and William, and continues to do good work for the kingdom in the years to come. He was a foreign commoner who became a captain, and then the Wizard King, and he made sure that others are able to be wherever they want to be, regardless of their status, upbringing, or place in their social hierarchy. Becoming the Wizard King was a big deal. Well, of course it is. That's what our protagonist Asta is trying so hard to be. But what exactly is it that makes it such a big deal? For starters, you have to have enough merit because the Wizard King essentially has the same level of authority as the King of the Clover Kingdom. You must be well versed in all domains, and not just the art of magic. There is no straightforward answer, just like how there is no straightforward answer to how one becomes a Hokage. It all comes down to being acknowledged, if we're talking about a simple answer. Julius Novachrono becomes the 28th Wizard King, and he's worthy of that position. Plus, he's the most powerful individual in all of Black Clover, so it's only befitting that he is the Wizard King. Next, let's talk a little bit about Minato Namikaze. He was an unknown kid with the dream of becoming a Hokage, but what made him stand out from the rest is his unparalleled talent. Only one other character in the series was viewed in the same light when it comes to peak potential, and that was Itachi Uchiha. But unlike Itachi, Minato didn't even need a Sharingan to be so extraordinary and fast. He was so good at what he did that Jiraiya-sensei came to the conclusion that he is the child of prophecy who's going to save the ninja world. During the Third Great Ninja War, Minato encountered the man who would later become the fourth Hokage. Minato beat him when it came to speed, but because of the signal for retreat, the battle was never resolved. Still, Minato was confident that he'd meet this man as a Kage. Sure enough, thanks to his contribution in the war, he was chosen as the fourth Hokage over Orochimaru. Then came the time when Kushina was going to give birth to their child. Security was tight, but the events of that night ultimately lead to Minato and Kushina's death, although the child of prophecy was finally born. Now, Julius and Minato live different lives, but they are similar in the sense that they started off nameless and eventually made their name roar through their effort and character. Plus, unlike Julius, Minato was already dead when the story started. So you can say that there is a difference in the way the narrative writing worked for these two characters. Anyways, let's talk about their abilities so that you can see where they would stack up against each other. While Julius can use time magic, Minato was all about speed. Of course, time allows Julius to abuse speed as well, but it can do so much more. What Julius can do is that he can accelerate, decelerate, or reverse the flow of time according to his will. He can heal people by reversing their injuries. An application of his time magic is restraining magic. Julius uses it to restrict people in a time loop. He can also use transformation magic. and he uses it quite a lot to walk amidst the commoners without getting noticed. If we take a look at his overall abilities as a whole, there is something to be said about his speed. He is insanely fast. Blink, and he's already killed you. Plus, because he is the strongest Mage in the Clover Kingdom, his magic prowess is literal peak. And something dark about him is how he can steal time from opponents. That time is stored within him, and he can then use it however he pleases. Since the nature of his magic is time magic, the stolen time is basically like fuel. And as you can expect, he can revive himself using that time as well. When he died, he still had 13 years of time saved up in the storage, which he then used to come back as a 13-year-old. How very convenient. Another thing that deserves a mention is his mana stage. This is about controlling the flow of mana. He can abuse it however he pleases by combining it with time magic, and thanks to it, he can basically see where an attack will come from. In a way, it works like Sharingan. Then there is his Grimoire, which is a list of time-based spells which he can use. Unfortunately, when he died and revived himself, he was significantly nerfed in the sense that all was left of the Grimoire was a single page. Moving on, we have the skills and abilities of Minato, the 4th Hokage. Much like Julius, he excels in just suddenly showing up in front of you and taking care of you before you have the time to realize what's going on. He learned how to summon toads from the Pervy Sage and was proficient in fire, wind, lightning, not to mention the Yin and Yang release. Rasengan is a technique that he himself developed after observing the mechanisms of Tailed Beast Ball. He spent 3 years on it before he figured it out, though this is just the beginning of his ninjutsu expertise. Next, we have Minato's Flying Thunder God technique that earned him the nickname Konoha's Yellow Flash. It is a space-time ninjutsu that allows him to basically move to anywhere or anything that has been branded with his special seal. You can't see him coming. It's like Goku's instant transmission technique. It does require some chakra though, and the way Minato uses this technique is thanks to his special brand of kunai, which already has that seal on it. He can throw it somewhere and then teleport there right away. This allows him to move at a level of speed that is inconceivable to the naked eye. Minato is also familiar with sealing techniques, such as the 8 trigram sealing style, which he used to seal Kurama. He not only sealed Kurama, but also sealed some of his own and Kushina's chakra, so that when the time is right, they can see their son. And yes, he also sealed the Yin half of Nine Tails into himself. This is our cue to talk about his Tailed Beast Chakra mode, which he uses in the 4th Great Ninja War to fight alongside Naruto. This obviously allowed him to significantly enhance everything he was already able to do, and also create Tailed Beast Balls. He was also immediately able to use it to his full potential, which was a sight to behold, which then leaves us with the Sage mode that he learned at Mount Mayaboku. The Sage mode is also about enhancing what you can already do. But unlike Jiraiya Sensei or Naruto, the Sage mode wasn't something Minato particularly excelled in using. He himself mentioned that he can't use it for very long. Okay, so on one hand, we have Julius who holds a monopoly over time, and on the other hand, we have Minato who can literally throw a kunai at you and then show up together with that kunai. Sounds cool, but maybe not so much if you're his opponent. Both Julius and Minato are exceptionally intelligent and familiar with a lot of ways of fighting. They can hold their own in almost any situation and can easily figure things out. So, considering all of this, who would you say is your winner? Go wild in the comment section with your thoughts and ideas. I'm excited to read them. As always, like and subscribe to the channel for free cookies. Share this video with your friends. See what they have to say. Well then, with that said, I'll see you guys on my next video.